Good morning, you guys. I want to bring you guys a review of The Shy, Season 5, Episode 6. Basically, we're to the point where we actually are, as I say, to the actual nitty gritty of the actual season. I think it's about 2 or 3 episodes left. Basically, to the point where we basically are finding out what not Jenna, Gemma and Jake are deciding that they're going to do. Because I was waiting, I don't know about you guys, but I've been waiting and trying to see what they were going to do and really anxious about it. Finally, they realize that they're going to actually keep the baby. Has a conversation with Jake and basically tells him that she's nervous, and he says that he's scared as well, but he's very happy. So I'm reading between the lines, and basically what I think they're saying to each other is that they're going to try to be parents. Because originally Gemma had said on last episode that she wanted to abort the baby. Jake was visibly torn about it because he was to the point he had to go and tell Kevin about it. Also, he's to the point where he had to disclose it to his mom. His mom is Peaches. If you're not familiar with Peaches, Peaches is actually came back into their lives. Him and his brother Victor. She basically is a recovering alcoholic. She decides that she wants to go to the organization with Victor shares with Tiffany, not Tiffany, Tracy. It's called the Rock. So they decided that she wants to go there and get rehab, and that's where she went to the facility. And that's where she's living. Basically, she came there to really show support to Victor because Victor is Jake's brother, and Victor is trying to run for city councilman. So she was to the point where she was trying to support him in his speech. Unbeknownst to her, Jake drops the bomb that he actually has got Gemma pregnant. And she basically asks him $1 million question: has he told Victor? He basically says no. One person he's told is Gemma's dad. And the reason why he's so scared to tell Victor, because he feel like Victor gonna get mad. Because at the end of the day, he kind of sees Victor as his father figure, not only as his brother. That's the only person confiding in right now. He gets to the point after his brother actually gets done doing his speech. He asks him where did his mother go, and he basically tells him he ain't got time. It's one of those things where he had just got into a little altercation with Rosalind. Rosalind is actually Q's ex-wife, who has been told that she can come in and basically help out Tracy with her organization. But come to find out, Rosalind has unveiled that she's actually going to break ground on a new building for Rock. Basically, they both look at each other, Victor and Tracy, like they didn't understand what was going on because he asked Tracy, did she know what was going on? She was like, no. He basically asked Rosalind, how did she feel like she can just come in and just take over? She said, you got to be understand something. Y'all work for me, not the other way around. So I think it's one of those things where he feels now that he's backed into a corner. He basically was irate. He didn't really want to listen to what his brother was trying to tell him. Jake was trying to come clean and let him know that Jim was pregnant. Also, went to the point where when it first started off, we saw what I call the sex scenes. This was between this new lady that Victor has seen. She's supposed to be a trans woman, and she presented herself actually as a news reporter. But they decided that they wanted to go on a little date, and on this beginning of this scene, they actually had sex. They had sex. Also, went to the part where Darnell and Jada had sex, and also we see that Emmett and Keisha had sex. It was also to the point where Emmett and Keisha decided they actually want to be in a relationship and they want to be with each other. But here's the thing: is they got to get over the hump of telling his ex-wife, which is Tiffany. Tiffany is the mother of Emma's child. And the thing that makes it really, really messy is the fact that Keisha is her friend. So at the end of the day, she tells him that he needs to tell Tiffany. He was like, well, she didn't tell me about her new man, so I feel like I ain't got to tell her nothing. So she basically tells him that's how she felt. He storms out. He goes to work. And Dom is there, which is his business partner slash the cook. She basically tells him, "Yep, you need to go ahead and tell her, because at the end of the day, you got to realize that you got into the same almost problem of this a while back, because you smashed me, and then you decided that you had to come clean and tell it, and that basically put you in a position where you needed to be." And he basically has come to the conclusion that yes, she's telling the truth, because at the end of the day, he don't want if you don't want something like that to come out in the end, and then she gonna be wondering why you didn't say nothing. So he finally decides to get up the nerve to actually tell Keisha that he was gonna tell her. So he decided that he gonna meet up with Tiff and actually they gonna speak. When she gets there, you can visibly see that he's actually nervous about it. He look like he always about to break out in the sweat. So she basically asked him what did he want with her. He basically tries to break the ice by saying that she wants something to drink. She says no. He basically gets in and tells her that he and Keisha decided they want to be a couple. And she was like, well, in other words, she had this look on her face like she was like, really? So next thing you know, he really was talking. He was telling her what it was and this and that. And next thing you know, she kind of got irate. She didn't really hit him or nothing like that, but you could tell she was more than less being irate. I think she was heartbroken because at the end of the day, she felt like even though she left in the way she did, she never would have thought that he would not only moved on, but moved on with her friend. So at the end of the day, she basically tells him that the elf him that she's mad, she really don't want to talk. So he basically just shake his head. He don't really understand why she's so mad. Like he told her, you moved on, so why you don't want me to be happy? But he got to understand it's one of those things with Tiff. You know, she ain't with him. She feel like in the back of her mind, he her man. I already knew it was gonna go that way. It was gonna go left, but I didn't know that they was actually gonna do that scene because I was waiting. I was a little nervous. I was like, I don't know how that's gonna go. But at the end of the day, Tiff fought tooth and nail to get Emmett to actually be an upstanding man and actually marry her. But she basically walked out on him when she found this new man. Decided she didn't want to be with him no more. It's one of those things where she could dish it out, but she couldn't take it. And basically, the new man she has is the basketball player Iman Shumpert. If you're not familiar with him, that's actually Tiana Taylor's current husband. He's easy on the eyes, so their relationship and chemistry is really really great on set. I'm not saying it's better than her and Emmett's, but you can kind of see the vibes on them. But at the end of the day, I think it's one of those things where it was inevitable for Keisha and Emmett to get together because just like he said, Keisha done held him down. He said he treated her bad in the beginning when they was actually young and decided they wanted to be together. But now he said he ready to be on his grown man stuff. Like he said, all he do is basically work and come home and take care of the kids. So when he actually told her how he felt, she basically started talking about something, and he said, "Oh, you already changed your mind?" She said, "Nope. I just realized we got 4 kids in between us." And he was like, "Well, that don't make no never mind, because at the end of the day, I feel like your son is mine as well." And I thought that really was a touching statement for him to say to Keisha, because at the end of the day, Keisha's been through a lot, considering that, on previous episodes, if you really follow the show, she actually was kidnapped. And she was kidnapped for a minute. And when she finally was found by Ronnie, which is the guy who was deceased, he got killed by Bakari, but that's another whole nother video. But basically, she's to the point where that's really what made her come around was the fact that actually Emmett was talking to her. He would come into the room and talk to her, and that's what made her come out of that shell because she stayed in her room a lot. If she went in her room, she went into the bathroom, and she was in a real deep depression. But as a result of being kidnapped by the man, she had a baby, and she decided to keep the child. But we're gonna see whether or not this relationship gonna blossom. I hope Emma do the right thing and treat Keisha right. I kind of was a little skeptical about them being together, but in the day I thought about it. I said if it's to the point where Tiffany walked out and realized she didn't want to be with him, it's more than right that he move on. I mean, he can't really help who he loved. It ain't like he decided that he wanted to be with her out of spite or did it while they was married. But Tiff want to play this card that technically that they not divorced. That's not the point. The point is you basically left him to be with somebody else. In other words, when he did to you what you did to him, you thought it went right. And at the end of the day, I feel like it's one of the things where they should be just like Iman told her. He said, "Let them be happy." In other words, he said we both need to let them be happy. Tiff gave him this look like, really, you gonna take his side, but it is what it is. Basically, she has a conversation with him, telling him that she wants to know what the connect is. Basically, him and her have a partnership. Tiff is to the point where she decides that she actually is, I ain't gonna say a dope dealer, but she basically sells weed. But she's supposed to be selling the exotic types, and he got a connect, and he had a lot of connects before her, and she basically want to know who it is. So he sets it up. She was like, "You really gonna set it up?" He said, "Yeah." So he sets it up. She goes in there, and the guy she speaks to, she asks him the question. She just come right out and asks. So he had a lady that came up to her out the blue. It kind of scared Tiff, and she basically patted her down. And she was like, "What are you doing?" He said, "I gotta have her pat you down because at the end of the day, if you able to ask me something like that out in the open, you might be working for the police." So basically, later tells her that Tiff is clean. So he basically tells her that no, he is not the connect he's looking for, but she got to go through him in order to get to the connect. When she finally finds out who the connect is, she realized that the connect was closer than she thought it was. She actually was the actual gentleman that Tiff was not Tiff. Keisha was waiting on to see before she got kidnapped. But it's a lot of twists and turns in that story, and I'm waiting to see how it kind of pans out. When she came out of there, he basically gave her this look and kind of like he's a smirk, like he was saying, "Now that's what you really wanted, so I set it up." He's like, "We could have got killed." He said, "Well, you weren't gonna get killed." Like he was saying, they just gonna rough you up. He knew what time it was. So basically, they ended that scene. Next thing you know, we're to the point we see Kel. Kel gets an invite from the gamers. They basically want him to come in, actually come into the secret society and actually be a gamer. In other words, he goes over there and plays like a secret type of thing where you got to have an invite. He basically gets there, and they basically like his skills, and he been recommended. So he comes in there with his chest all up. He gets in there and does the first round. He wins. Next thing you know, he's sees another guy over there playing. Obviously, that guy is the guy that is beating everybody. So he feels like it's a challenge. So he's like he gonna sit down and try to play. He said, "Well, you don't get a chance to come over here on the first night." He was like, "Well, my skills speak for themselves." He sits down, and just like we already knew, he did not win. This guy's to the point everybody sit down with him do not win. He was like, "What next?" So Kev get this look on his face like he was very disappointed, and next thing you know, he was gone. So when they actually get home, he has a conversation with uh, Taisha. Taisha is the young lady that actually moved in with him and his mom and his mom's wife. She basically was to the point where her brother went to jail, so she basically was going to be a ward of the state. So they decided they was going to take her in. I think eventually they decided they adopted her, so she able to stay with them in the family. They were really close for a minute because at first Kevin's to the point where he liked her, but his new current girlfriend, he spent a lot of time with her, and she's feeling the pinch because she basically blurted out and told Kevin that she never spend no time with him. So his girlfriend was like, "You need to do better with your time management." So he basically was saying to his I said almost say his sister because the mom has gotten custody of her. She basically says that he tells her that he has got recruited, and she was like, "Well, what?" He said, "It's a secret." He's like, she was like, "Your girlfriend know, why I can't know?" So basically they get into a little scuffle. He starts screaming after her, and she basically runs upstairs. I think it's one of those things where she misses the friendship with that she and Kevin had, and feel like the girlfriend is overstepping and basically smothering him. But it is what it is. She got to realize that Kevin really. It took a minute for that girl really to get Kevin the time of day. So he basically infatuated with her. And definitely, he really trying to hold on to her because he feel like every other girl he had, somebody took her. Because at first, Papa took Maisha. Next thing you know, Gemma and Jake was together. But we're also to the point where Victor, like I told you, he decided that he wanted to have sex with the actual news reporter. And I think it's one of the things where she's trying to trap him, and basically she's gonna try to frame him as liking trans women because she's trans just like his ex Imani. Cause she keep asking why he won't come clean and tell people, and I think she really tried to have sex with him, not only to make Tiara mad, which is the woman that he's pretending like he's actually in a relationship with, to try to get followers and most importantly gain votes when he tries to be city councilman. But at the end of the day, I think she really got an agenda. She's basically gonna try to frame him, and that's why I think she was really adamant about having sex with him. Because he asked her the question, why she was so worried about whether or not he wanted to keep her a secret. She gave him a look like, basically, I don't want to be a secret. And she basically told him that she feel like the mistress, and she told him to tell his current girlfriend that she was sorry. He basically told her that he wished he could stay there all day and sleep in her. In other words, be sleep. In other words, be with her all day. I think one of the things he gonna be infatuated. He gonna fall in love with her, and it's gonna actually turn left. But we're gonna have to wait around and see. I'm patiently waiting to see how that thing pans out. But he basically in his speech, one of the things he was supposed to have made reference to his mom and her sobriety, but he left that part out. And the mom ran up to him immediately after and asked him why he did not include that part. He basically said he wasn't ready to be vulnerable like that. I think basically what he was trying to tell his mom in hindsight that he didn't believe that she actually was gonna be keep her sobriety, so he wasn't finna get out there and spew lies. and it really hurt his mom because she ran off, and hence got to the point, like I already told you. That's why him and Jake was not to the point they could actually speak, because he was looking for his mom, because he knew that she was visibly upset. So they got to the point after everything settled down, he decided he wanted to go look for his mom. One of the volunteers let him in, but she knocked at first and acknowledged herself and told the mom that she was gonna have to come in. So they rattled with the door and never heard anything. So they used the key and come in and realized the mom was not there. But I'm gonna leave that for the end because I don't want to get too tangled up in that. I'm gonna tell you in the end what happened with that. But I think the thing that by this episode I liked the most was the fact that Emmett and Keisha are actually rekindling their relationship, and now that everything's out in the open, they actually can move forward. And I think that's a beautiful thing because at the end of the day, uh, she asked, in other words, Tiff asked Emmett a question, and it basically he couldn't even answer it because he just, he dropped his head. She was like, "Well, when I got ready to leave and go stay with my mom, when you was daydreaming, were you dreaming about Keisha?" He just dropped his head. Yeah, he was. He was dreaming about her real vividly, and it was to the point where he just couldn't tell her then because he was really trying to work things out with Tiff, but Tiff was not to the point she wanted to work nothing out. So she left to stay with her mom, and the current guy she with told her that she can come and live with him, and that's where she been. And one of the things where the kids really be with Emmett. So that's why when he called, she thought something was wrong with the children. But Tiff is basically got infatuated with this new guy, but she feel like her husband, well, I said, still said her husband say they're not divorced yet. Well, she feel like Emmett can't move on. That's not wrong. That's not right. Now, I understand how she feel about her friend moving on with her husband, but at the end of the day, if you don't want him, you should be to the point where you should be grown woman enough to let that man move on and be happy. But I think it's one of those things where he realized that Keisha was the one that got away, and he decided he wanted to rekindle it. And he basically told her that he gonna get with her. This on last time he gonna get with an ex, and she basically hit him. He was like, "Nah, that's not what I meant. Basically, what I'm telling you is that I want to be with you." So I'm kind of glad that Dawn was to the point where she put her differences aside. And when I say that, she didn't think about the fact that him and her had sex. She basically told her what it was from a female's perspective. Like she said, you need to learn your lesson. Go and do the right thing and tell your ex that you and your current are dating, which was right. Because at the end of the day, you can't keep holding and harboring secrets because once they come out, that makes it worse. But yeah, this episode was very, very, I say, nice because we did get some ups and downs, but most importantly, we see people rekindling relationships, and I like the part also where Jada is told by Darnell that he wants her to take him out on a date. She takes him up on the offer, and she decides to take him to a step show. And we know, in other words, where the steppers go and they actually do the do stepping. They call it stepping, but in other words, they do like synchronized little dances and stuff like that. And he basically really enjoyed himself. They got to the point where they had to leave early, and she was like, "I would have still been there if you hadn't hurt your back." And he was like, "You." She said, "You call me old, and you're the one that's old." I thought it was really, really funny because at the end of the day, they had a real, real rough patch to try to get to this point, her and Darnell. So I think it's kind of cute they actually rekindling everything they're trying to be together. But the thing that made Darnell mad at first was the fact that she told him that the next guy that lived with her actually gonna have to be married to her. And I think it's one of the things Darnell loved her, but it's kind of hard for him to commit. That's probably where they bump heads. And like she told him, she said, "We're not gonna do like we've been doing." He was that, and when he said, "What does that mean?" We're not gonna break up. So that's why he suggests. He said, "I tell you what, you take me on a date since you wanted me to take you on one." So he said, "Just let me know what Red Lobster to meet you at." She was like, "Nope. If I take you on a date, it's my decision." So hence that's how they got to the Stepper show, which I think was a really, really great thing for them to do because at the end of the day, Darnell do like that type of style of music, and most importantly, it was able to get more intimate and get close. But they get to the point they talking on the couch. Next thing you know, they getting ready for bed, and she basically told him that the night is not over. So she goes and slips her lingerie. Next thing you know, she told him, "Show me what you got." And he showed exactly what he had. He was asleep, snoring. I thought that was so funny. So she climbed in the bed and cuddled with him. But I'm ready to see what is ahead for Gemma and Jake as far as this new baby venture. Because I really, really thought she was going to go along with the abortion. So I don't know. Maybe she decided she had an epiphany that she really wanted to, be with Jake and actually had a baby. Because you could tell Jake was really, really serious about it. He was about in tears when she said she was going to have the abortion at first. And he's like, "Why you don't want to have my baby?" I think just like the mama said, Jake wants to be able to solidify and have something. In other words, a kid that loves him. But then day he hadn't really had a real stable love when it comes to his mom. But he told his mom he forgave her because at the end of the day she did her best. And one reason why he said it like this because his mom always had a bad drinking problem, and he was to the point he was in and out of different type of environments. He had to go at first to stay with Q. And if you know who Q is like the resident dope man that turned out to be the mayor. He was married to Roslyn. But at the end of the day, tried to give him a good home. But what he when it happened, how he got with Victor is that he deliberately did not show up to the child support hearing, and hence that's how Victor and Imani, who he was with at the time, got custody of actual Jake. But Jake is to the point now he kind of sees his brother as a father figure. So he was really mad. I'm not mad, scared to tell his brother that he actually got Gemma pregnant. Now, last episode, he was about to tell him, but he said, "You got her pregnant? Did you get her pregnant? Why you asking me about getting girls pregnant?" He was like, "No." And he basically gave him a look like he know he lying, but he was like, "Is something you need to tell me?" He's like, "Nah." So I could see in his eye that he was really, really torn about telling his brother, but he felt more comfortable to tell his mother, so that was a good thing. So she encouraged him to tell the brother, but the brother was so irate about something else, he didn't want to listen to what Jake had to say. But they had a beautiful embrace, him and Jim, and I thought that was cute. Jim was to the point where she basically was helping Maisha with her actual demo, and she was giving her suggestions. At first, Maisha was very, very adamant about not changing it, but she basically was telling her, you need to get a very catchy hook. And when she basically did what Gemma told her, actually it sounded better. So they basically embraced, and she told her thank you. She appreciated her help and considering what she got going on. Gemma told her it was no problem. So they embraced, and I think it's really, really great that her and Gemma decide they want to be friends. I think one of the things Maisha needed a friend, Gemma needed one as well. And Maisha now is really breaking out as the friend because she basically supported Gemma when Gemma told her that she was pregnant. She basically sat in the bathroom with her when she took the pregnancy test. She kind of threw a little couple jokes in there to kind of make her loosen up, but I think it was one of those things where she basically was trying to be there for her because she kind of understand the struggle. Because in the day, her mom has multiple kids, and Gemma basically had to be a second mom to her own kids when she was growing up. A lot of days she missed school, so she understood with struggle, but she realized, like she told Gemma, she wasn't gonna try to make that mistake and be, in other words, be a single mama. She gonna try to, get her education and make it out, which I think was real commendable. In other words, she breaking the generational curse. I think she's gonna really be successful when it comes to being a actual performer. But Gemma is deciding that she actually is gonna be her manager, which I think is kind of cute. We're gonna see how that goes, how that works. But I'm anxious to see what goes on with Jim and Jay as far as their journey on being parents. I think the main thing a lot of people are going to be saying is that the fact they're young is probably going to work against them. But at the end of the day, it might be in the best. And the thing, it might make her grow up. And most importantly, it's going to make Jake grow up as well. He already said he was going to step up to the plate and get whatever jobs he needed to take care of him and Gemma. I think the dad wasn't really too keen on it because at the end of the day he told him just like he told Gemma when they went to Gemma's dad. He said it's her body. So I'm hoping that the dad probably hoping that Gemma's gonna actually have an abortion low key because his plans for his daughter will be up in smoke. And when I say that, he really wanted Gemma to go out to a good school. What he don't know is Gemma sabotaged the SAT and she really didn't have a chance of getting in school. So it just was a domino effect. But we're gonna see how this thing with being a parent, if it strengthens them or it weakens them. But hopefully it'll strengthen them, and most importantly, they'll be able to grow and be, good co-parents. But I think Jake using this as an example, the main reason why he want to keep the kid because he feel like the kid gonna give him a unconditional love, and most importantly, he know that that's gonna bring a bond between him and Gemma that can't be broken in his mind. Because at the end of the day, he's come from a broken home. He don't want to be to the point where he do the same thing for his son. His own mama said that she think he's gonna be a better parent to his child than she was to him. Hence the reason why he said his mama did her best and she hugged him and she told him thank you. But yeah, this episode of The Shy, I really, really enjoyed it. It had a whole lot of twists and turns. I was on the edge of my seat a lot of times. So I enjoyed this episode. I personally hate to see the season about to end. I'm hoping that we get a season 6. But we'll see where it goes from here. And most importantly, you guys, I am so appreciative of you guys who are actually new to the channel. I thank you so much. Those of you that are oldies and most important day ones, I appreciate you as well for the actual support.